Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hey,
Hi.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate. Wait. Yeah, that's the right words.
You,
Appreciate it.
this is funny. YouTube says we have one person watching.
And which
It
person
might
is
be
it?
me.
Is it you? Hmm. Well, welcome to Joe.
Welcome.
That's good enough for me. You know, as long as at least Joe's here, we can make the show happen.
We're gonna do it, man. It's gonna be
That's
cool.
right.
You know, it happens even when I'm not here, though.
Yeah, it does happen.
So that's okay.
You're here in spirit, though.
Well, today I'm here live, so
Yeah,
I'm not just here in spirit.
that's right. You're here in spirit and in the flesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
On your screen.
Yeah, I guess that's not exactly flesh, is it? Well, it depends what here means.
I mean, I've got flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I've got extra on my head, it seems, but that's just because it's not covered by hair.
I've got extra flesh on my head, and that is true. Although I do have a
You do?
smaller face than most people, so maybe it's not considered extra. Yeah, I have a very particular atopical dermatitis where my body produces extra skin on my
Oh.
face, and it clogs pores, and that's why I have problems when I have certain kinds of oils because they can't escape because they inflame me and all the extra skin. So, like, it's crazy. When I go in the shower, I have to literally, like, scrape all the skin off my face, and it's a lot. And it sounds gross, and I'm sorry, but yeah, it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's weird, man. It is weird, and what's cool about it though is my wounds heal faster than normal.
Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
good thing. And as
collagen.
Beyonce says, I think that's why you don't have many winkles.
Yes, winkles. I don't have too many winkles, even though I can winkle from time to time on both eyes. I've got that. What is that? I saw someone recently say it's really uncommon for people to have control of their face muscles, independent, like one half of their face and the other half. So
Yeah.
like being able to, smile with only one side of your cheek is less common than, yeah. Can you do both? There you go. Yeah. And I feel like that's pretty normal, but like, then you got things like your eyebrows, independent.
Oh yeah, I have a really tough time with one of my, like, I can do this one really, really well.
Ooh, look at that.
This one, it's like, it takes effort.
Yeah, you could do it though.
I always have to like turn my head.
Yeah, well, it's like you have to push this one
like-
down. Yeah. Look, I'm doing it. I'm just raising both at once,
did it.
But if I keep this one down, it looks like I'm doing it. Yeah, apparently that's
Nice.
pretty rare, I guess. But I remember when I was little, I was like, I want to be able to do that. I would just stand there, like, practicing in front of the mirror. I'm like holding this eyebrow and like going up, like, now this one, And eventually my muscles learned how to do it.
So I think for me, it's like a mentality thing. Like, so like my kind of angry raised eyebrow is this one.
Uh-huh.
And then my raised eyebrow that's kind of more sad is this one.
I see. Well, I guess you could say it's like anger and question. Like, I got a question eyebrow and an anger eyebrow, and depending on, you just gotta know which is which.
Or we're like, what did you just do? Like,
yeah. What? Or so angry? Well, that's not a question. That's a statement. Sorry. I'm so angry.
I'm so angry?
Yeah. That's when I raise both eyebrows at the same time. And it's like, well, but I'm so angry?
So how much time, like, have you done this, or am I just weird? Because like, I will stand in front of the mirror and make faces just because.
I remember doing that as a kid. I haven't done that in a long time.
I still do that.
That's okay. Hey, what's his name? What's his name? Jim Carrey,
Jim Carrey.
the
He's got all
actor.
kinds of faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a career out of it doing that. He said
Yeah,
he
that's
would
true.
practice in front of the mirror as a like for his whole life. He was doing that and just thought it was fun, and he made a career out of it. Not exactly.
Look at
but
these
yeah.
weird things my face can do. Oh, my face, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Someone stop me. Faces. Yeah. Anyhow, welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. Nice to have some people here with us. Hopefully you are all having a lovely day today. Hi, Izanagi. And yeah, this is the show where we talk about problems and issues, things going on in life, especially yours, and we hope to bestow at least some amount of wisdom or experience upon you in this time to help you through whatever it is that challenges you today. We aren't professional psychologists or psychiatrists or doctors or anthropologists or astronauts or really almost anything. Anything you say, we're probably not professional at it unless.
Entomologists.
What is an entomologist?
A bug scientist.
Oh, wow. You know what's fun? I was about to say, is it it's I was gonna say it was a creature, an ologist of a creature type, but I was thinking amoebas? Not amoebas.
Oh.
Wait, what are the
I thought you were gonna say you were thinking
sea anemones.
Oh, the sea anemone.
Yeah.
Anemone. Anemone. Anemone? Anemone.
Anemone.
No, anemone.
Oh, is it anemone?
It's N-M-N, anemone.
Anemone? I thought it was anemone. Oh my gosh, it is anemone.
Anemone.
It's an enemy anemone.
Anemone.
My enemy anemone. My enemy anemone.
An enemy.
My enemy.
That is an enemy right there.
Yeah. My enemy anemone must make amenities. Your
you know what? I'm just really super excited.
Amenities.
The chat is blowing up right now.
Wow, Jimmy.
Look at it's explosive.
Exploding. Is that a rice? Hold on. No, that's a bomb.
It's a bomb.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
did you say rice?
Yeah, okay, let me tell you why. I can't even show you this. I wish I could show you this, but I can't. Okay. First thing you have to understand. I have a program that I somewhat wrote. I wrote part of it that allows me to turn all of my windows except for my Discord video feed, because Joe and I are on Discord and we're feeding video. All of them are slightly transparent. Okay? And I've done this so that I can see through windows so I can overlay windows on my one screen. So I can be looking at Joe and see the chat exactly at the same time without having to adjust my eyes.
Pretty cool.
And then I can be looking basically at the camera, looking at Joe and looking at the chat at the same time. Yeah. So the bomb is overlapped with that blue mushroom to Joe's right shoulder on the camera.
One?
Yeah, that one. And so
that one right there.
Yeah, it's overlapped, and the way that it's overlapped, it looked like rice, man. It looked like an onigiri. It was like a triangle shape, and it was like, I was like, what is that emoji? It was, yeah. And then once I moved the window to the side so I could see it without Joe there, Joe's background, I was like, oh, that is a bomb. Not even close to an onigiri. That's an onigiri. That's an onigiri triangle.
But that's rice?
Yeah. So it's rice, and then the little rectangle part goes around it. The bottom is seaweed.
That's seaweed?
Or rice paper. Yeah.
Okay.
Seaweed, not rice paper.
I
Sorry.
see.
Nori. Seaweed paper stuff.
Seaweed paper.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually quite good.
I like it too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't go with everything, but it does go with rice. It does go with seaweed.
Yes, it does.
That's right.
Yes, it does. You know what else makes me really excited today? I got to tell you, I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Static P.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to switch that part. Oh my gosh.
I am static P.
Way to go, Joe. You've made it.
Yes.
Whatever
And
that means.
and I'm excited. My son's here today, so this is exciting. He's like right behind the like the mushroom forest. He's like lost in the mushroom forest somewhere back there. And so, and he's playing Rivals right now. So like if you hear something once in a while, then
just know it's good.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
And if
it's just like, have you ever been
angry?
Did you ever play Rivals?
It's okay.
Like this happened in Overwatch too, right? You're playing a team, like, whatever, PvP game.
Yeah.
And like, so it's like you play all these matches and it's silent.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, someone says something in the voice chat, and you're just like, "What just happened?"
Like, that feels super weird.
It's like who's? It does. It's
for
weird.
Like 20 matches
anymore.
And sorry, Joe. For like 20 matches, you'll be playing. Everything's quiet, and then like halfway into a match, it's not even at the beginning. It's like halfway in, someone's like, "Oh, I got you," and you're like, "Whoa, that's into my ear, dude. What was that?" I feels so weird to hear like someone just randomly talk now. Say one thing.
The thing I always hear is, "Where's my healing?"
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you do. That's because it's directed directly at you.
It is. It's always just like, "Hey, where's my healing healer?"
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't talking about you.
I don't understand.
My girlfriend's a support main, so I can't say that anymore.
That's right.
I can say it to you. I can't say that anymore.
I don't know if you guys heard that. He has a girlfriend, and she plays, and she's a healer, and so he's like, he can't like rage at the healers.
Oh, that's funny. That's great.
I'm a tank main. That's my whole job.
That's actually really great. That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't understand where the whole "I died, therefore it's my healer's fault" mentality even comes from.
I don't know either, but it's very prevalent.
It's so strange to me because growing up, there weren't any games where that was the reason you died. And it still isn't the reason you die in those games. So I don't.
Right.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's frustrating to get killed in a game like that, right?
Is.
And so it's frustrating. And so I understand, but it's like, it couldn't be that you overextended or you're out of place or just you're up against a really good player, because all those things happen too, right? But then you get upset enough, and it's almost like we want to find somebody to blame, and
I think
have it not be us. And we don't want to. We also don't want to think that somebody might be better than us at something, right? I mean, these are natural human tendencies, right? And so then who's the shining scapegoat?
You know what? It's so funny because
it wasn't getting enough healing.
For me, I still don't say it's the healer. I say it's the game developers.
Oh, the game developers.
I'm always pointing fingers at them. I'm like, dude, this class is so rigged. Like, my class does nothing, and their class does like 5,000 damage per shot. Mine does like 20. What? This isn't even fair. I still don't blame the healers. I'm just like, it's the game devs.
Yeah. Now, I've been known to say that somebody's hacking when they're not hacking.
I respect that. I get it. Feels that way sometimes. Sometimes it looks that way. You watch a replay and they're like tracing you, and it's like, that's not human, you know?
Yeah, like nobody's that good. You're hacking. I died, therefore they must be hacking. Like,
unless we got like some pro player in here, then this doesn't make sense, because we're in like bronze lobby. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Good times.
The fun world of gaming. It's great.
All right, well, with that said, I think we should do a topic.
We should. Before we do that, really quick, I just want to say Happy Thanksgiving.
Ah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Even those
If
who don't
you're-
live in the United States.
Yes, if you don't live in the United States, you are more than welcome to celebrate Thanksgiving when we celebrate Thanksgiving. It's really simple. It's not always easy, but it's simple. You just have a big meal.
And be thankful.
It's usually turkey, potato stuffing, gravy, all that good stuff. The best
We got
stuff
a
in the
voice
world.
chat.
Oh, it's so good. And yeah, like, yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Just celebrate. Have a
Just do
meal.
it. Just celebrate it.
And be
Have a
thankful.
meal. Be thankful. Exactly.
Actually, Thanksgiving is a really good holiday because it promotes being thankful.
It's the best holiday.
I don't know if it's the best, but I wouldn't compare them. They're different. There are some holidays that are not as good, though. So maybe I would compare them.
Like Flag Day. Who, like,
Yeah, I guess, like,
Holiday is
yeah.
Flag Day.
Sure.
Itsunagi likes Christmas.
Christmas is pretty great. I like Christmas. Easter.
I
Easter's
used to really like Christmas.
Still basic.
Easter's probably one of my favorite holidays.
I mean, for a Catholic, Easter is like the most important holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's-
Halloween's still better.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I like Easter because I hear Mav.
Yeah.
I like Easter as a Catholic. I don't think I would care for Easter if I wasn't. I think it'd be silly. It's just kind of a silly, pointless holiday.
Well, yeah, because what's it become? It's become Easter egg hunts and, like...
It doesn't make sense
Weird, and the
outside of-
bunnies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't understand.
A bunny that hides eggs.
Yeah.
Which sounds super wrong. When
Yeah,
you
it's
think
wrong.
about it.
It's totally wrong.
Uh-huh.
Ah, yes, I'm going to hide my kids in
But they're not my
didn't you say
kids.
you were going to be quiet?
I did.
I'm gonna go hide my kids in the bushes and have people find them, but they're not my kids because I don't lay eggs. So whose kids are they?
In some random kid's backyard.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Hey, Yosua, how's it going?
Hey.
Oh, no. Having relationship issues. I'm sorry.
Well, I hope that
Those stink.
yes, they are the worst
You know-
kinds of issues.
I will say this. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I can almost guarantee every single one of you that whatever your problems are going on in your life, the most painful ones are relational
Yeah.
to some degree. They involve our relationship with another person, whether it's romantic or family or even
Mhm.
friendships or whatever, like all that, like the most painful hits I've ever had. And, there's some kind of a relationship issue
Mhm.
going on. So yes, love you too, Yosua. I hope
love you too.
I wish you the best, and I'm really sorry.
Hope it goes and recovers well.
Yeah,
And quickly.
makes me tempt. I just don't want to have any kind of relationship whatsoever with anybody. But then that doesn't work because we're social beings, and so like, I could try and be a hermit, but wasn't there what it was Saint Anthony, I think,
Yeah.
who was like,
Of the
yeah, I'm
desert.
done with people, and so he's like, I'm going out to the desert, and then
One of my
like
favorite
after he
saints.
did that, like people found him, and he was more popular than ever,
Yeah.
and like he had more
was-
people around him. He was
People like
trying to
literally
escape.
lined up at his door just to talk to him. They're like, wow, there's that guy that he's like he went out to be a hermit so he could pray all day to be with God. Like, let's go like get his blessing. And like literally hundreds of people pile up outside his door and he's like, God, what is this? You got to be kidding me. I came out here to pray. Now I have less time than ever.
Right.
I'm like, yep.
That's God and his silly paradoxes for you sometimes.
I love
it. Like
it's so such a good story.
Yep.
So that's how life is and how it always has been.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So anyway, happy
So, yeah.
Thanksgiving. Now we can start.
Awesome. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, I'll shut up now.
You're good, man. Oh, good. So we've got one from Nyan. That's called Trouble Conveying Thoughts. We've also got 3 anonymized. No encouragement.
We can handle this urgent
capabilities.
one real easily.
Oh, is
We
this
got
one
an
urgent? Ooh, that one is
just
urgent.
came.
Mr. Cheese,
And we can handle it in like 3 minutes.
cheese or be cheese, submitted recently. Not so recently. Urgent. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. I'm gonna look at the topic real quick. Okay.
What up, Zay? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving, I suppose. Zay, wait. Yeah. Thanksgiving's
Zay.
tomorrow for Zay.
It is.
I was trying to like, wait a minute. Is he in Europe? No. No, he's in America.
Zay and I are actually in the same time zone even, which is like I'm in Zay's time zone. I'm like super excited about that.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Zay, you're amazing and I love you, and I feel bad I haven't gotten back to you. I see you have messaged me probably a long time ago on Discord and I haven't read it yet, and so I apologize. But I should do that today. Look at all of them. I've got quite a bit.
All of them.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine. Nick, you're fine. I will
You're fine, Zay.
put this topic on the screen, even if it's short. This is submitted by Mr. Cheese.
Mr. Cheese.
And we'll start with this one and get it out of the way. It's a pretty good one, I guess. It's a good one to start with. Lighten the mood before we begin. Submitted by Mr. Cheese, titled "Cheese or Be Cheese," and it reads as follows: "Cheese or be cheese?" Question mark. And there you have
even
it.
Put the question mark.
There's a question mark.
Question mark.
Cheese or be cheese? What do you think this question means, Joe?
I don't know. I don't know what the question means. I would tell you this though. Why is the word "or" in there? Why not both?
Oh,
Why not cheese
and be cheese? You should not be mad, Neonsai, because Neonsai, I love you. Someone else can be fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not flirting. I'm just telling them that they're fine.
What are you mad about anyway?
Because I said Zay was fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh boy. Now you guys are having relationship issues. Dang it.
Oh man. I think we're gonna be okay. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But just remember my marital advice.
Punch each other.
Punch each other.
I remember that. Oh, you're talking about that. You're talking about the topic being urgent. I thought you were talking, because I was like, when I said you're fine, Zay, I was like, oh man, that could be taken a little bit of a, like I was flirting with, and then I was like, whatever. And then you said that, and I was like, oh man, okay. No, you're the topic being urgent. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Still, though, remember my marital advice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget.
Punch each other often. Well, you didn't say often. You said always. Always punch each other.
I said always, yes.
Always be punching each other. Mm-hmm. That's right, you are.
Yeah,
all
Zay,
right.
You know you are.
So what do you think this question means?
Cheese or be cheese? I don't know, but like, I just think of squeezed cheese because that's the best kind of cheese anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like
quality cheese.
There's no cheese you would rate higher than squeezed cheese?
No.
What about, okay, and would you...
Not even Velveeta.
Would you say that's also true for things like if you have like a pasta with cheese on it? Would you still choose, if you were like to pick your cheese for that pasta or pick your cheese for a sandwich, would you pick Munster for your... Or would you prefer squeezed cheese over Munster or, provolone or...
Like if I had a cheeseburger, I would prefer to just put squeezed cheese on the cheeseburger.
Okay.
On a pizza...
Sure.
I would take the sauce off.
Yeah,
and I would put squeezed cheese instead.
Okay.
Of the sauce, and then put
mozzarella
on top of the squeezed cheese. Right.
Dang. Wow. Okay.
It'd be so good.
Dude, Izanagi, yes, a Goofy movie. Okay. Leaning Tower of
What?
Jesus. I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah.
Yeah, Zay. See, Zay gets it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Zay shouldn't get it because that's absolutely nasty.
All right.
That response. That's great. All right.
Okay. So yeah. So anyway, that kind of wraps up the topic for me. It's just like why or why
Mm,
not both and why not cheese and be cheese?
mm. You know, I like being cheesy at times.
Mhm.
I like cheesy gameplay at times, you know? You know, cheesy gameplay means it's easily exploitable and probably a bad idea for you to do the thing that you're doing. But if it works way too well. But most of the time, it's not going to work. That's what cheesy
Yeah.
gameplay is. I like to be cheese. I like to play cheesy. But people don't like that, you know? Because they're like, oh, you only won because you're playing cheesy. Like, it means like, it's like, yeah, you're right. That was my strategy. Easily defeated. But if I make the right move at the right time, I win. It's stupid.
Is that like button mashing?
No. Well, okay, maybe in some cases. I think cheesy, in order to play cheesy, there has to be a strategy. But button mashing may be considered a strategy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the strategy that beats me a lot of the time,
Yeah.
especially like if I was playing Tekken or you know
Yeah.
some kind of fighting game like that, Street Fighter or Tekken
Yeah.
or something.
And,
Yeah, the button mashers would always win, and I'm
uh-huh.
like, you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, but that's part of the plan. Because if I don't know what I'm doing, you can't block it because you don't know what I'm doing either. You can't block my punches. I don't even know where they're going. That's a good strategy.
Yeah,
suppose.
that's right. It works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see. So the question to you means in like gaming.
Well, not necessarily. I can just like that's the only way you can be cheese. Because how do you be cheese otherwise?
I mean, you can say cheesy things. You can be like,
true.
which would also be like being corny or
Mm-hmm.
silly or cheesy or whatever. They're like,
That's
or
true. Or if you are what you eat, then you are both anyways.
yes.
If you eat cheese.
Squeezy cheesy. I'm squeeze cheesy.
Hello, welcome to Worry Wednesday. I've my co-host
I'm
here,
Squeeze
Squeeze Cheesy, and
Yeah.
and I are gonna be doing a show together here where, yeah, we cheese all your topics.
It's gonna be great.
It's
Gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love every minute of it.
I think that covers it. I think I can mark this urgent one as answered and enjoy the rest of what we've got today. Thank you, Mr. Cheese. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was fun.
We did
I
it.
appreciate
We did
fun
it.
Topics. We did it.
Did it.
We did it. We did it.
Everyone just presses the L button as fast as possible in racing games. L. Like the L key or like L
Left.
like the L button on the controller.
LR. Got it. That makes more sense.
I'm guessing that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Unless L means like you shoot your enemies, I don't know. Use item button. Oh, okay, yeah. So it is shoot your enemies or whatever, yeah. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, instead of their strategy is just launch it as soon as possible rather than launch it at timely events or something.
Yeah.
That makes it's a strategy. Yes.
It is.
Uh-huh.
Might
Okay.
be a cheesy strategy.
Let's move on to the next topic. We've got 4 of them here. And I think we'll just start from the top. This one's from November 12th. They're all from November 12th, actually. So that was amazing. Had a really successful day that day in terms of getting topics.
It was a red letter day.
If you guys have any topics, please feel free to share them with us. Any any problems or even just thoughts hanging out in your mind that you'd like to talk about, we'd be happy to do to have you and your topic on the show. If you want to remain anonymous, of course you can, as many of these topics are. But you can feel free to type them into the chat or go to our website, don'tworrywednesday.com, and submit a topic there.
Yes.
Great.
We would love it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this one. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen for us all. And so feel free to read along if you so desire.
Mm-hmm.
It is on the screen now. It is titled Trouble Conveying Thoughts, and it reads as follows. I have trouble conveying my thoughts into words. Oftentimes, whilst struggling to do this in real time, I get frustrated and tired. I either give up or just say a roundabout, non-accurate thing and brace for misunderstanding. This leads me to struggle with problem solving at work and communicating with others socially. Got any advice on improving the skill of putting my thoughts into words? From Nyansai, or Nyan rather. Yeah, that's an really
interesting question.
Yeah, this is a really important question. This is something that we've talked about a few times, and I understand the pain and suffering that you go through because, yeah, it's awful. You get exhausted. I can see it, and it's quite troubling. So I think this is an important topic. Whether we are able to help today or not will be found out. But I sincerely hope that we can help, and that it whatever we say might lead to some answers here. But I appreciate whether you have confidence in us to help solve the problem or not, that you even post the topic so that it can be opened up for thought. I know it's a real struggle, and I hope that we can help today. So with that, this is an interesting topic, to be sure. And speaking is something that is a skill. Conveying your thoughts is a skill, and it is something that it's like a talent. You can get better at it over time if you train. But how do you train? And what training methods work for you? And what kind of things? What kind of methods? So this will be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to seeing what Joe might have to say about it. So I'm gonna give it over to Joe.
That is a really good question, and thank you for the topic. Yeah, I mean, I can think of a few practical things you can try that might help you with some of this. But I think one of the key barriers here is your mind might be getting in the way as well, because not only are you thinking about the thing that you're trying to say, but you're also trying to think of how to say it. And, there are lots of times when I will say, I'll say it in conversations all the time where it's like, how do I say this? How do I say this? Right. And people be like, well, just say it. And I'm like, bro, like, no, like I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I do that too. Yeah.
So, yeah, because sometimes it's hard. And I think this is a pretty common thing. But I remember reading this book one time. It was called How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People. And this guy was he was trying to help people be better communicators and all that kind of stuff. And he said, so much of the time we're sitting there nervous about what we're going to say. We're thinking about what we're going to say, how we're going to say it. And we just, and we kind of freak ourselves out and close ourselves off and stop ourselves because we don't know what to say, how to say it, how to convey it, whatever. And he said, one of the things you'll find is that when you just let go and let your, he called it, let your tongue wag and, say what's coming through your mind, right? You'll find that communication can really flourish. And there's some truth in that, right? Now, it depends on what's in your, like, if you're really upset and mad or something, it might be good to try and control what's coming out of your mouth, because you can do irreparable damage to relationships by saying something off the cuff that, or doing something like that without thinking through it first. So there are times when it's good to think through exactly what you're going to say, especially if it's a really sensitive topic or a really sensitive issue that you're facing. But most of the time, if we can just open up and let ourselves talk, we'll find that the communication, the conversation can really roll quite well. So I'd encourage you to think about that and think, okay, so I think part of the issue, or something that at least is exacerbating the issue, is this nervousness and overthinking of what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Because really, if we screw up, everybody screws up. And so it's not that big a deal, right? And I like your tactic here. You'll just say a roundabout, non-accurate thing and brace for misunderstanding. Misunderstanding happens all the time. And so that gives us a chance to try and explain, another thing that I'll say a lot of times is, does that make sense? I'll say something and I'll say, does that make sense? Or whatever, because I just want to make sure the message got across. And so those are things that you can think of too. If you're thinking of just general conversations, like conversations in general, another thing is try and think in terms of asking more questions. Because now, like, if you can think in terms of that, you find that you can have a really great conversation and you might only say a few words. It's really amazing. Like, that's especially if you're looking to have somebody warm up to you or whatever, you'll find that if you can ask more questions and get them to talk and ask them questions about them, all this stuff, then you'll make a lot deeper connections way faster than normal, and you won't have had to think of much to say anyway. Most of the time when we're listening to somebody, we're actually not listening. We're trying to think of the next thing we're going to say. Right? I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, I do that. A lot of people do that. We want to say something clever. We want to say something that makes us seem smart. We want to say something that helps people understand that we're an authority on a topic or whatever. But really, more importantly, is if you can make a connection with somebody by getting them talking, then a lot of times you can relax and think in terms of, all right, I'm just making a connection and I'm allowing them to talk. Now, if you're here, like in the capacity where Ryan and I are here right now, and we're like trying to communicate something, we're not having a two-way conversation with you. We're just like spouting out information. Now it becomes more of a thing where it's like, it's a little bit more stressful, because it's like, I got to come up with something to say about this. It's so it can be daunting, especially with some of the topics we've had. It can be kind of crazy. But so that's something to think about. But I think your most major barrier here is your mind getting in the way, and you might be overthinking the things that you're going to say, and it might not require that. Again, it depends on how sensitive the topic is, how, crucial this conversation could be, because we have some crucial conversations in our lives, right? Where it's really important to make sure we get the right message across with the right tone, and, so we don't do unnecessary damage to a relationship. But for the most part, if we just kind of relax and let go a little bit and let ourselves just say stuff, then things can go a lot better. Now, there's a caveat with this, because it also depends a little bit on what's going on in your heart. Because the mouth speaks, right? But it speaks what's going on in your heart. And so if you are a very bitter person, if you just let loose and say whatever, or if you're experiencing all this anger, bitterness, all kind of stuff, and you're just really frustrated and upset all the time, and, say rude, harsh things all the time, then you can kind of come across as abrasive if you just let loose and let all that out, right? So having your heart in the right place is important when you're going to do that, right? And one of the best things you can do to have your heart in the right place is when you're talking to somebody. I don't do this as much as I should, but when I remember, everything goes better. And that's when I say to myself, when I'm talking to another person, I say, I love you, I love you, I love you, over and over and over again in my head. I don't say it out loud to them, right? But that's what I'm thinking in my head is, I love this person, I love this person. And it just softens everything. When you can think in terms of, I love this person, I'm interested in them, I want it, not in a romantic sense, but I love them like as a friend, as a good person, all that. So that's some stuff you can do. Another thing, like practically, that you can do is read more. You can read books that interest you. Read nonfiction, fiction, whatever. The more you read what people are communicating, the more your vocabulary will expand, and the more you'll see different ways that they're conveying ideas, and you'll be able to formulate sentences better, phrases better, understand how to communicate better. I've read a lot of books over the years, and I know that it has helped me improve my communication skills, the ability to talk, the ability to relate, all that. It just kind of deepens you in the area of words. So that's something you can do. Reading. Another thing is writing, journaling something, or even, it doesn't have to be journaling if you don't want to, but just writing words. So those are things you can do on your own time that will expand your vocabulary and expand your ability to convey an idea. So, if you had to read one book, what would I recommend? Okay. So Neonsai says, I find that people tend to understand something in their own way and firmly keep that grasp and hold on to it when you try to explain that they aren't understanding it correctly. That's absolutely right. They do. People will formulate an idea really fast sometimes about what you're going to say. And so you're almost like working against that prejudgment when you're trying to say stuff. And so then it might even be more delicate, because then you might have to over explain in order to get your idea across, to overcome their prejudgment of what you were going to say. Right? I know I've fallen into that trap. I've been on both sides of that trap, where I've made a judgment on what somebody was about to say, or what somebody was actually saying behind the words they were saying. They were saying one thing, but they actually meant something else, like, because I know I'm all wise and all knowing and everything, right? And that's sarcasm. But you're absolutely right. If you had to read one book, what would I recommend? That's a good question. I might have to think about that a little bit and let Ryan talk for a bit, because it really, one book to recommend, one book to end all books. Like that's a tough question, because it really depends on where you want to go and what you're trying to do, and all of that. So but Moonlit has a book. Hey, Moonlit.
Hey.
It's short. Sometimes those are the best ones. Yeah. I don't know. Some really good books. Some really, really good short books are by an author named Og Mandino. He wrote a lot of really short, really, really powerful books. And they're all put together in really compelling stories, but they teach you good stuff as well. You wrote your English dissertation on it.
Wow.
Oh boy. Like the build up to this is really is Now I really want to know what it is. You're like building this
Yeah.
thing up, Moonlit. Like, hey, Mianglios, welcome.
It's
Good
the
to see ya.
Criminal Idol book. No.
It's
That would be
not,
hilarious.
it's not really got a teaching or anything behind it. That's okay. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to. I'm reading a book right now called The Narrative of Arthur Pym or something.
Shirley Jackson.
It's by
that's
Edgar Allan Poe.
cool. Oh, Ellen. Yeah. Okay.
We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. All right. I've never heard of that book. I might have to look it up now. Imagine using the Bible as a foundation for your communications. That could get interesting, especially depending on what translation you're using.
Yeah. You might,
If
you
you
do
use
the,
like
King
Old
James.
English, the King James.
Yeah. Feel like,
Thou hast not.
yeah.
Maketh me happy. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Right on. Cool. Well, anyway, so hopefully
Where
that
is
can
thine
get you started in the right
textiles?
direction. I'm gonna turn this over to Ryan and let him talk about this for a little bit. So,
Sure.
Ryan, I've
Yeah.
watched him kind of grow as a communicator over the years. You know,
That's true.
When I first met you, you didn't say much at all.
Yeah, that's true.
And probably you were scared of me because I was so intimidating.
Yeah, well, at the time Joe had
I'm
hair,
kidding.
and that was frightening. No, kidding.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah.
My hair was scary. Scary hair.
It wasn't scary. Joe still
But
has
you
hair.
have. Now we do this show every week, and you communicate wonderfully. And I see
thank
you
you.
with people like when we go someplace and we're ordering coffee or tea or something. You know, you're a great communicator. So
Thank you.
I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Well, I appreciate that. I think, Joe, I think what you said is actually pretty good.
Well, I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I agree. I agree. I agree with that, Joe. You wouldn't. You wouldn't have. I mean, letting the tongue wag. I mean, I take this approach, and I don't know if it's, you know, you learn over time. To some degree, okay, I think of it like this: communication. If I was to make an analogy between communication and making a shoe, okay? If I was to make a
shoe?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be a, what do you
Okay.
call a shoemaker? They've got an interesting word.
Cobbler.
Cobbler. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna relate or analogize communication to cobbling. Wow.
right.
Look at that. I was using words.
Let's go.
Let's go. Everyone loves shoemaking. It's great. Okay, so I'm making a leather shoe. And I cut my sizes out. You know, like, I don't know if you've ever seen people make shoes, but it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. You know, they've got certain, you know, you measure the person's foot, their heel length, their arch, and all that kind of stuff if they're really particular. But anyhow, you got all these materials. And I don't think a good shoemaker polishes all the materials and builds the shoe super, super, super slowly so that they don't make a single crease or don't make a single scratch anywhere on any of the materials. A good cobbler gets all his measurements right and then goes. And he even destroys some of the materials along the way, going, this part's just going to be scrapped, but this is the part that I'm going to handle and muck up. So I can stretch it, so I can pull it, so I can twist it, you know? And so you've got this, but a good cobbler isn't afraid to mark up some of the leather because he knows that at the end, his whole job is not finished until he polishes the right?
Right.
And so I think in the same way, the way I address conversations a lot of times is through a sort of a similar format in that I put out the rough idea the best I can communicate it. And there are times where I have to take a moment and say, hold on, I need to figure out how to say it, right? And it's and it's funny because when you say that, like you were saying, Joe, people are assuming, oh, they're trying to break it down so it's not painful for me to take in. Like they're just trying not to offend me. And it's like, no, my brain is actually struggling to find the words or the way to even communicate this because it's such a complex idea in my head right now. And I'm trying, like, I don't even know the words to use. So hold on, let me try to find some words. You know, there are times where I have to slow down. But in general, I think like you said, if I think too much, everything comes out fumbled. When I pre-plan, like if I know what someone's gonna say, like, oh, they're gonna say it, and I pre-plan what I'm gonna say, when it comes out of my mouth, it's like why did I stutter? That was weird. You know, I pre-planned it, and now I stutter. You know,
Yeah.
that happens all the time to me. Anytime I kind of like think too long about something or really meticulous on like, I got to say exactly this way. As soon as I start thinking, I got to say it exactly this way and these word orders, suddenly I fumble my words. And it's like part of what makes tongue twisters so difficult, you know, because the tongue twister is you have to say something and it's similar what your tongue's doing and it's flickering and it makes it difficult. But for me, the real hardest part about tongue twisters is that I'm thinking about the words and trying to very carefully say it all. But if I wasn't, it would just come out a lot more natural. And that's weird. You know, I could say a tongue twister without trying to, and it just comes out. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hold on, let me try to say this as a tongue twister. All of a sudden, I can't. And I think that comes from overthinking. And it's not overthinking in a good way, right? It's not overthinking it's overthinking in such a way that it's like as soon as you try to I don't know, like as soon as your mind starts really focusing on something, it is unable to do the things you need it to do in order to actually do that thing. Like it's weird. And that's a problem I have. I don't know if Nyansai you relate to that, but you said for me when I pre-plan, it comes out a lot better. But usually pre-planning is writing it out for a few hours beforehand. No, I don't relate, but that's okay. And that's okay. You don't have to relate. I think if we pre-plan everything, or if we pre-plan and that's what's getting us good communication, then we should probably stop pre-planning. And I know that sounds harsh or backwards because it's like, this is what's working. But what's working is it's like the workaround, you know? It's instead of being able to do it in real time and like say whatever comes out and then, you know, hopefully fix it if there's any problems with it or people misunderstand you, and be patient with that process. You know, and I think, you know, of course, some things are worth pre-planning. Some things are worth scripting out. Some things, like if you're sending an email or sending a, you know, important, deep, thoughtful, sincere, whatever message to someone, writing can be a really great format for that. And that takes time and meticulous thought. But if you're in a conversation and you're struggling to get your thoughts across, if your struggle is you have a hard time getting your thoughts across into words in real time, then I think you don't want to shy away from that. I think you want to go into doing that more so you can learn the skills. Just like anything, you know, if you want to learn to draw, if you want to learn to play the piano, you have to actively play it. And so you have to play the game, right? And it makes sense to be afraid of it, scared of it, because it has bad outcomes in your past. You know, it's like, yeah, but when I do it, it turns out bad. And it's like, okay, well, that goes for if you were to play the piano too. I mean, go sit down at the piano right now and start trying to play a song. It'll probably be bad. But that doesn't mean you can't get better. You just have to take the bad in and practice. So obviously, that's not to say you don't regularly communicate. You do regularly communicate with me. We talk often. And there are times I misunderstand. But I don't think the misunderstanding should outweigh the importance of communication, and it doesn't for you. All I'm saying is, I don't think it's wise to focus on the potential negatives, because if you focus on the potential negatives, it prevents you from having confidence with talking, which is the main thing you need to do to actually get skilled at talking, right?
Develop confidence in talking.
Yeah, develop confidence in talking requires you to forget or ignore all of the drawbacks of talking to some degree. Because if you focus on the drawbacks, if you focus on everything that can go wrong, you lose your confidence. You lose your ability to train with talking. You stay quiet, or you rush through things, and you rush through things with exhaustion, right? That's true for piano playing. When I was like young, and I was trying to learn the piano at times, or the saxophone, or an instrument, whatever it is, or drawing even, or any kind of talent, any kind of activity. If I became impatient with it and started just speeding through it, it always turned out worse. And I didn't learn. I never learned anything, usually, that I can remember. I never really grasped new concepts or started to learn better by rushing through due to exhaustion. And that exhaustion only exists because of a mental state. It's there, it's real, but it's fabricated in our minds, right? Just like most things with perception. Like, this is exhausting. Why is it exhausting? Because communication goes wrong for me. Okay. Fair. But communication also goes right for you. And communication is needed, and communication is a good thing. Right. And you know that. But if you focus on the fact that it can go wrong for you, you're going to exhaust yourself. And then you're going to feel hasty and want to just get it over with, and you're done with it, and you don't really want to communicate anymore because it's exhausting. But if you focus on the good or the intention of the whole process, like, I want to communicate this, if you focus on something else, it's not as exhausting. I mean, that's just how it is. That's how our brains work. And so I think it's true. Like, what you said happens, and Joe acknowledged it too. You said, I find that people tend to understand something in their own way and firmly keep that grasp and hold on to it when you try to explain that they aren't understanding it correctly. And that is true. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. It's like, you might say, I don't understand. And I'm like, if you think I don't understand, maybe it's not me misunderstanding you, it's you misunderstanding what I'm saying in return. It's like, why? And so, yeah, it does push those buttons for everybody. Because if you assume they don't understand you, then their response is going to be like, no, I do understand you. You don't understand me. Right? And it makes sense. It makes sense that that's going to be their response, because that is that is right. If you're assuming they don't understand what you're saying because of their response, then they're going to fire that right back at you and say, no, I do understand. You don't understand me because of the way you just responded. And so you end up in this pointless battle, right? And it sucks. It happens, and it sucks, and it's stupid. It's really stupid on everybody's part, because, like, it's not stupid to say, well, you're misunderstanding me, because they are, but it is stupid because it becomes a fight, and it's not helpful. And it's hard to tell someone that they're not understanding, and for them to take that as like an invitation to listening again and trying to understand from a different perspective. And that can be really difficult if you notice that people are not understanding you, and it causes you to be exhausted, and so then you don't want to explain it anymore, then it can go nowhere from there. It can go nowhere if that happens, right? And so that's why I'm saying it's way more important to not focus on the fact that they can misunderstand. In fact, it's especially when they do misunderstand, it's important not to let that exhaust you. Because if it exhausts you, then you want to rush through it, you want to get it over with, and then the conversation ends on nobody understanding anybody and everybody feeling like crap. And then that feeling is perpetual and will eat its way into every conversation from then on, because now that's what conversations are like to you. They're painful, and
Yes.
then if that's your perception up front, that's every conversation ever is exhausting. And so the only the main thing I can recommend is it's a perception thing, and you need to, I don't know, I can't say you need to, but I think it would likely help to sort of rewrite some of that over time. I can't expect anybody to just go like, oh yeah, so this the way I feel about conversations is because of that, and you know, etc. Okay, now that I get that, I won't ever be, you know, negatively, I won't ever think those negative thoughts again. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, of course nobody can do that. Well, rarely can anybody just acknowledge something and go, okay, yeah, now I won't be that way anymore. You still got that emotional, you still have those experiences which dictate the way you think about things. But the reality is, everybody who's ever talked has these same experiences. But what we decide to focus on is how we view conversation going forward. And that is what determines how well we'll develop skills in the field. If you're interested in getting good at art, you're going to try to get good at art. And that's evident. But if your experience with art is such that you say, I don't want to go through that process getting good at art, and I don't really care to, and I I'm good enough, then you'll stop there. And if you have even more exhaustive and terrible experiences with art where you don't believe you can do it anymore, like you look at yourself and you're like, I'll never be an artist, I can't draw, I just don't, every time I try it turns out bad, and anytime I think it turns out good, I show it to somebody and they think it's something it's totally not. Like they called it a sun, and it was like literally a beach ball in the sky, like, and they don't see it, they don't get it. It's like, if you have those experiences over and over and over, probably you'll not become an artist, because you'll be like, it's too painful, and I don't want it. So, and every time I go to pick up the pencil and try to draw, it's like, no, it's like, I just want to be hasty and get it over with, and I don't really care. And so I don't draw, I just don't. And that's not, I'm exaggerating. Obviously, people find middle grounds between all of these things, but
sure.
I think that's kind of what's going on here. And I could be wrong, and you can correct me, and that's totally fine. But that's the way I imagine it. If you get exhausted because people will misunderstand you, and that's in your head at the forefront of the conversation, then every time you go to speak, you'll feel this hasty, wanting to get it over with, exhaustive feeling. And then when you go to speak, that's also what you get out of it, because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And your focus is on that. So even if a conversation goes well for you, which most of them do, your brain doesn't incorporate those into your experiences. Your brain only remembers the ones that hit the wrong points, because those wrong points are what is holding you back and is thinking about. And it is your major issue with communication. So it's like, here's like, most conversations go right for you, but those aren't the ones you keep track of. That's everybody in life. They do that. Everybody does that with different things. And that's normal, but it isn't necessarily helpful or healthy to fixate on a negative. And it's hard to just say, okay, I'll be positive. But I think all I can say is, all I can recommend, if this is the holdup, if you can agree that it's holdup, and maybe it's not, but if it is the holdup, if it's the whole reason you get exhausted, if it's the whole worry about people just don't understand when you try to tell them something and they get the wrong idea and then it goes backwards for you, which does happen to everybody. If that's what your mind is focusing on, and that's why you feel like you can't communicate, that's why you feel like you have to pre-plan everything, if that's what's contributing to all of these different factors that make you feel like you're not good at communicating, when you actually are good at communicating, because you are, and I don't know if I've ever told you that, but you are good at communicating. We talk all the time. And there are occasions, and they're rare, where we misunderstand each other, and they're usually deeper topics that require a lot of like communication. So yeah, those topics are hard, but most of the time all the communication's perfectly fine and it's happy. And so and there are times where you convey deep things and we understand each other right away, and it's like, wow, that's so cool, that's a deep thought, I like that, it's great. And then there are times where that doesn't happen. But I don't think you should let potential of pain cause you to what's the word?
Blue.
Blue is the color of Don't Worry Wednesday.
That's not...
Apparently. We put it in the color picker, and oh my gosh, it's apparently blue. But I have thoughts about that I want to talk about some other time. Okay, the word wasn't blue, but thank you, Joe.
Yeah, sorry.
The potential for pain shouldn't cause you to try to avoid doing the thing. And over time, maybe you can let go of this and not fixate on it and let it decide. And like, you don't want this fixation, you to become you don't want your communication skills to become a slave to a problem, where the problem just is always going to be there no matter what you do, and perpetually is going to stop you from feeling free to communicate, right? So all I can recommend is, if this is the problem, and I could be wrong, could be wrongly diagnosing this, which honestly it could be, but if it's right, then my only thought of solution is to put up form a game plan where you, or at least to some degree, somehow manage to subvert this worry and just take it as it comes. Because in life, you can only do that generally. If you fixate on a problem that could happen, it will always bring you down and make you anxious, and you'll have anxiety attacks.
Yes.
But
yes,
if you can just take the problems as they come, life tends to be a little bit more it moves forward, and you learn from the experiences when they come, because your brain is wired to go, I'm moving forward, rather than, oh, what could go wrong, and not moving at all. It's important to take time to figure out what can go wrong. I'm not saying don't, but at the same time, we should move forward as though we're going to get the best result, so we can give our best to get that best result. And when the problems come, fix them. You said, I'm more so fixated on the efficiency of communicating rather than the fear of it. I don't want to spend all day explaining a single simple thing every time. Fair
I don't
enough.
think anybody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, that's fair. And there are times in life where I think probably it's okay to say, you know what? This is, it's too much to explain. We'll talk about it later. Or it's not really helpful for any of us to talk about it, so I'm just gonna carry on. Sometimes that's the case, but sometimes some things are worth talking all day about. To just get it out there. And I guess you have to make that judgment call. Is there a way that, I mean, maybe you're asking this. Maybe what you're asking is, how do you efficiently convey thoughts faster and more effectively so it doesn't take time? And my response to that is, one, through practice. That's the main one, practice. And you're getting your practice in. But continue practice with different people. And two, I don't know, maybe like when we die, we can finally communicate exactly what we mean, because our barrier won't be spoken language and definitions of words, but it will maybe be like actual thoughts, how things work and are understood at their base roots, and like realistically, because communication, it relies on language with definitions that are arbitrary, and half the time we don't even agree. Like, people don't agree on the same definition of a word. Like the same, or people don't see a word and agree on the definition. So it is difficult. It's stupid difficult sometimes. So I guess all I can say is, we all face this problem. We all see the problem. We've all probably watched a debate before and thought, these two idiots are saying the same thing and arguing about it.
Yes.
We've probably been there. I tell you, I've
Yep.
watched so many debates
I've seen
where
that.
it's like, you guys are the same. Stop, you've been at this for 15 minutes. You're saying the
But
same exact
it's
thing.
a debate. We can't agree if it's a debate. We have to disagree.
We have
right?
to disagree, even on something that we're saying
Even
the
though we
same
think
thing.
the same thing.
Oh my gosh. Man, I tell you, that's frustrating to listen to. But
Yep.
anyways, you get it. We see it. We see people who are master linguists. Their whole job is to debate people by using the English language and try to grasp and communicate concepts with each other at in the most efficient ways possible. We see this, and even they, I mean, you just watch one of them, they'll make tons of mistakes. And so I guess my response is, try not to make communication too much about efficiency, because, well, maybe you can make it about efficiency, but don't expect to be good. Because nobody is. I think some people are better than others. That is 100% true. And that comes through training. That comes through experiences of trying to get things across and learning from them. Some people take notes. Some people just naturally learn. You might need to take notes. I don't know. But in the end, don't doubt yourself. You're good. You're plenty good. You communicate really well. Jan, we talk all the time and you communicate great. You've talked with Joe and I've seen how you interact with Joe, and the communication is good. And people are happy.
I do have a new goal now, though.
But, yeah? What's that?
Yeah. Well, Neonsai said up in the chat earlier, it's not that I lack confidence in myself. I lack patience with others.
Mm-hmm.
So now my
Fair
new
enough.
purpose in life is to test your patience.
Ooh. Wow. Well, if it's not
And
a
you got the
confidence
left
issue,
eyebrow raise.
wow. Ooh, the left one. What was that one? The angry one, or is that the question one?
Yeah, that's the angry one.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. I corrected that statement. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
But I latched onto it like
Mm-hmm.
I just had to.
You want to make it faster, and I understand, because it does take up time, and it can at times be annoying. But I think the best thing you can do for yourself is figure out how to not see it as annoying, so it doesn't feel like it's taking up all your time and you feel like you need to rush through it. Communication takes time. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Sometimes you have to communicate things that are way deeper than the person, or just thoughts they never thought of before.
Mhm.
And when that's the case, it's going to take time to break it down. And yeah, there's
Yeah.
sometimes you have to discern, is it worth doing that or not? But generally speaking, you're going to find that problem throughout your whole life. If you can get away from the feeling of it being troublesome, something you don't want to do, you can shift your mind to being something that you are okay with doing, or maybe even want to do, because you want them to understand, just for them, just for their sake. Like Joe was saying, just for their sake, I love you, I love you, I love you. Just for their sake, you want them to understand this. Or maybe you want them to understand you better, for both of your sake. It might be worth communicating. It might be worth slowing down, and that's a beautiful thing. And if you can I think that it's just this negative feeling of like, that's causing you to feel like it's not going fast enough, because you want to get it done and over with.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can change your mind state about it, I know it's hard just saying that. You actually have to come up with a program to do that.
Oh
But-
yeah, yes.
Right?
Just
And-
change your mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Good luck.
I don't know, maybe you disagree still. Maybe you disagree with that. But I think perception goes a long way here. And if you're fed up with anything, we always want it to go faster and just get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can work on it so that we don't feel fed up ever, if we can work on our tolerance, if we can work on that, our tolerance and our willingness to just take time with it, then I think this feeling that you're having will likely go away. Yeah, it's not really that hard to change my mindset, and I agree with that. I've noticed that you actually do fairly well at that. You said, I can go into every conversation thinking I'm going to be there all day and be okay with that, but to assume others would afford the same mentality would be wrong. That's fine. And if they don't have the time for that, they'll walk away, and that's fine. It's not up to you to control that. And it's not, that's part of what makes communication interesting, is that you don't have control over the other person. You don't know what the outcome's going to be, and that can be not fun at times, because you want a specific outcome. But to be okay with that, just to be, and I think you'd be like, okay, they don't have time for it. That's okay. I didn't really want to anyways. That's great. That's fine. I'm just trying to give you anything I can, and I'm scraping at the floor here for you. I'm just saying, the only thing I can think of here is, if your perception of having communication skills is focused on all of these negatives, then of course you're going to feel the way that you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of these things that you're pointing
True.
out, they're true. All the things you're pointing out are true. They come with communication. But they're all negatives, and they're all drag your feeling of communication down, your willingness down, your tolerance of other people down. They drag all of that. In terms of communication, you have less tolerance for everything because of all the negatives that are there. Like, how do we unlearn that they're there? That's not the point. But you do see my point, I think. And it comes with anything. If I was to play a music instrument, hassle. Got so many times when you learn to play a new piece, you mess everything up.
Yep.
It's a stinking chore. If you want to
Very
learn,
true.
if you want to learn a new piece and you're focused on, I'm going to learn a new piece. I'm going to get all the notes wrong. I'm going to get the dynamics wrong. I'm gonna get this wrong. I'm gonna get the tempo wrong. I'm gonna get everything wrong. Great. Here I go. I'm not going to enjoy learning that new piece. And that's just the way it is. And that's okay. Because that can be overcome. And perhaps I'm guilty of this too. And I'm not just pointing a finger. I'm just, like I said, I'm scraping for answers for you. The only things I can come up with are, it's all perception. It's all perception. And that's the only thing holding you back. I think so. Anyways, it's all perception. It's the only thing holding you back is the way you see it. And that kind of thing holds me back all the time. And I notice it in myself, and I have to fix it too. So, and I don't always fix it. Sometimes I just like, no, I want to be upset. I want to be angry about that. Not really like I get too angry, but like, it's like I want to, my way or whatever, it's wrong and it's bad and it's icky and I don't care for it and I don't ever want to learn to care for it. I could be that way. I can be that way about things, but at some point, if it's making life worse for me, if it's making life harder, then it's good to rethink those thoughts and just allow myself to go, I can get good at this. I can change the way I perceive it. I can learn to enjoy it. Or if not, at least enjoy it. Stop myself from just trying to nail it and say communicate. Whatever it is stupid. It's full of flaws. It's got this wrong with it, that wrong with it. I always end up messing it up. Like, stop all of that. And be open for it to being a good thing. Be open to it. Be welcoming of it to some degree and saying, you know what, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to learn now. I'm willing to put my own things aside and say, all right, I'm just going to let it be whatever it will be. That's the only way in the end to get something good out of it. And I've done that many times in my life. And I know you have too. And I think it's just another one of those. Just another one of those. Anyways, I've done everything I can. Joe, what do you got?
Neon's how you say, I think practice, skill, and technique is really the answer. It's just kind of a letdown to hear because there's no clear-cut way to work on that. I understand your frustration. I understand your yeah, we never like to think in terms of, oh yeah, I need to get better at this, but the only way I can get better at this is to practice at it. And the only way I'm going to practice at it is to really suck at it for a while. And then, like Ryan made the music analogy, and it's very true, right? But so I don't know. I think maybe because it sounds to me like it's the situations you're dealing with are when you're giving instructions or, asking for some kind of a thing or whatever, and maybe you could try, taking a little bit of time before you have this interaction to think in terms of, okay, what's my goal in this situation? What am I trying to get across? And then what's the simplest way to say this? I appreciate people. It sounds to me like you're looking for efficiency. You're looking for how do we not spend a whole lot of time dwelling on a subject in order to get the answer, in order to get to where we want to go together, right?
Yeah, dwelling on something that they think I'm talking about and it's irrelevant to the conversation. I don't know why they're focused on it. We just want to talk about this one thing and they're going off.
Right.
Yeah. And we all do it.
Exactly.
We all experience
that.
We do. And we all are offenders of that.
Yeah. And we're offenders and offended both at the same time. And so, yeah, this is a real issue that can happen. But, honestly, Nancy, I've never seen a problem in your communication. I feel like I've always gotten the idea when you've been talking. I've never had trouble understanding you. But yeah, I understand the frustration of wanting to get to the point, and handle the point as quickly as possible and as painlessly as possible. And, you may be bringing in past experience of dealing with this issue a lot into your mind, into each conversation. So like like Ryan was talking about, you've struggled with this. And so you feel like this is always going to be a struggle. And so now I'm bracing myself for the struggle, and look what happened again. It's a struggle, So part of that is your mind playing a trick on you. But in all honesty, I've never experienced that with you, where I've felt frustrated or felt like you had trouble explaining something or conveying something. Sometimes we may have to ask a question, like when we were talking about, things we were doing to your house and, whatever. And so we were just trying to make sure we were all on the same page. Sometimes that takes a little bit of time to hash through some stuff, so you can get to that point. But it's like, okay, let's get to the point. Right. And we all dance around the point from time to time, especially the more nervous we are about a situation, the more nervous we are about offending somebody, the more, we'll dance around the point and not get to the point. And then finally we get to the point and, it's fine and whatever. Right. Or maybe it's not fine and we argue, I guess that's a possibility too, but I don't know. So I think, honestly, in this type of situation, one of the best books you could read is the one that I mentioned earlier, which is How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People. Because the issue isn't your words and your communication. The issue is, getting your idea across. And what's the best way to do that in the smoothest, most efficient way possible? The thing is communication with people isn't always efficient. Sometimes we have to go through stuff, especially if you're dealing with somebody who has a lot of insecurities or whatever. You might have to like preface the things you say to kind of build them up a little bit and whatever, or, ask questions to make sure your points get being, communicated properly. But those are things like how to communicate with a person. We have to take into account the person, not just the idea we're trying to get across. And we have to take into account that they are a person, and we have to learn how to dance with their personality. We have to learn how to make sure that they're not going to reject us outright by saying something offensive or whatever. There's all these things that we take into account, right?
Like each person is a different communication style. In some cases.
Right. Like the way I talk to Ryan, I don't talk the same way to his brother Kyle.
Sure.
Because they're different people. And so like the communication is different because they're different. And that's okay. That's just part of learning people and all this kind of stuff, right? And that doesn't sound efficient at all. It sounds exhausting. But in reality, it's not about the thing you're trying to communicate. It's about what are they hearing me say? It's not about what I'm saying. It's about what are they hearing, right? And that book, the How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People book, addresses that very well, in my opinion. That whole dynamic of thinking in terms of, okay, it's not about what I say, it's about what they hear. And so how can I adjust my communication so they hear the right thing and they don't get clouded by emotion or something that gets in the way of them hearing what I'm trying to say? And so it just kind of helps you to kind of pave the road in those communications. So
Smart.
That's probably, if you said what one book, and I was like, well, okay, since we're talking about this particular issue, that's the book. When it comes to that. Yeah, that's pretty much what you're saying. Yeah,
Yep.
I get you.
You're right.
I hear you.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks because we want to talk like your personality style, I'm learning. You have a driven streak in you, right? Which means you probably run into a lot of dumb people. And you want to talk in bullets, not as in like I'm firing, but like bullet points,
Sure.
where it's like, okay, this, that's it. Right.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly great way to communicate, especially when it's clear and everything like that. But then comes the interpersonal dynamic, because if you just come in and like start using bullet points with somebody aggressively, then they might automatically get turned off and not want to do it and rebel, all this kind of stuff. Yes, thank you, Jeff. Ask. Oh, really? Why is that? Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about that at the beginning when I was like asking questions. Yeah. Oh, there's some book recommendations from Jeff too. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jeff. People aren't dumb, they're smart, but we're just on different pages, even if we're in the same book. Yeah, that happens all the time. I'm sorry. That's just kind of a fact of life, and it's frustrating. But that's just kind of the way things are sometimes. And so, you know what? From now on, I'm gonna deliberately misunderstand you.
Oh no, Joe. So mean.
I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, that's what I got. So yeah, we
Yeah.
can move to the next topic.
No, that was good. That was good. I hope it's at least, I know it's not helpful because we can't give you anything that just says, oh yeah, do this, and suddenly now all your conversations are going to be more efficient. Though I think that Joe's point about what the book is talking about, how do you figure out what that person, the way you need to talk for that person to hear what you're trying to communicate is useful. But again, each person is different. So luckily you're not talking to a lot of different people every time. You are talking to the same people. So it does give you the time to understand and learn and participate in that. But other than that, I don't know. It's kind of like, how do you make it more efficient? How do you make it like, how do you make communication more effective and efficient? Like, and it's like, oh, here's the answer. How about we screw the English language, screw the French language, screw the German language, the Dutch one, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Korean, every language. We need a new language that's perfect. Can't do it because people's understandings of one thing are based in different experiences. Some person's version of sad means, like, that's what I feel when someone dies. And then someone else says, no, that's not the experience of sadness. I've experienced people dying before on me. It's not sad. It's,
exciting.
Well, maybe. No,
I'm kidding.
No, well, hopefully not. But like some people might say, like, no, that's like a feeling of dread. You feel like hopeless. And another person will say it a different way, and it's like that. It can't be communicated because we're experiencing different things with the same thing. The same word is being different. The same concept, the same emotion is being experienced differently from different aspects or different reasons. That's just a single word, sad. It applies to so many of our words. So how is it possible to make communication more effective? Because it's not you, sweetheart. It isn't you. It's communication. And you just kind of have to deal with it. And it sucks. But it's also really rewarding and really nice and can be really fun and exciting and exhilarating and interesting. It can be so many of those things, but it can also be annoying. It can also be tiring and exhausting. It can be any of those
This actually
things.
inspired me. I'm going to be a jerk now from now on.
Oh, no.
It's going to be great. I'm inspired.
It's not
Thank
sad,
you,
it's soul crushing, yeah. Screw it all together, like with the French. It's impossible. So the answer is a really unfortunate answer. And it is, like you said, just have to keep practicing, keep trying, and come to terms with that it's okay. It is what it is because none of us are perfect and our brains are all different. And so things take time to decompose. So here's maybe one tool that you can use. I've got one tool for you, sweetheart. And it's a tool we've talked about before, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, and then we're going to be done with the topic probably. Discretion, where you start a conversation with disclaimers. Disclaimers. And we've talked about disclaimers before, and you use disclaimers, and disclaimers are really helpful for people who are really sensitive about something, and you want to make sure you don't hurt their feelings, whatever. And you're good at disclaimers. There's just one thing I've got for you to maybe be a tool for you, and you can build on this tool and find ways to say it. And that is this. I have a disclaimer. I'm not sure how to communicate this properly. We might misunderstand each other or be talking about completely different things by the time we have end this conversation. So please be patient with me, and I'll be patient with you so that we can get on the same page. Sometimes that's what we need to say. Sometimes
and here's a contract for this conversation. You need to sign it. I'll sign it.
In blood. We also need to go to the police and get our fingerprints taken for this.
Yes, exactly. This is from my attorney.
Yeah. Anyways, sometimes that's all we can do is say, at some point in the conversation, be like, wait a minute, hold on. This is one of those conversations. Okay. I'm going to be patient with you so I can understand what you think I'm saying. And I hope you can be patient with me so I can understand, so you can let me help me understand what I think understand what you're saying, so that we can ultimately get to a point where we're saying and understanding the same thing. Sometimes just saying that, and making sure that's the feeling we have can make it feel. It can drive both parties forward to getting on the same page, rather than feeling like they think I'm stupid. They're calling me stupid for saying that I don't understand them. No, I understand things. It's not like, blah, 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 what are the other thing, etc. It kind of helps sidestep that problem. So that's my only tool. My only tool for making things more efficient is to say, this is an inefficient conversation in the kindest way possible. Let's try to drive towards something that makes more sense. You know what? It's not a tool you can use with most people, but it is a tool you can use sometimes with some. His disclaimer, I may ask you to delete the conversation we just had so you can let go of your assumptions of what I actually am trying to say. Yeah. Perfect. Sometimes we need to step outside and say, hey, I need to be more patient with this conversation before it gets even worse. And they also need to be more patient with this conversation before it gets worse. And both of us need to do that right now. So this is me saying it right now. We both need to take a step outside, not literally end the conversation and come back, but take a step outside what we think we know and be willing to try again in a different way. And that will be more efficient. Even though that sounds really long and arduous and annoying, that will be more efficient for you than not saying that. That's my unfortunate tool for you. That's it. I don't think I had a mean outburst because of a misunderstanding. I just kind of give up.
Now I have another goal.
But that's
draw out a mean outburst.
Oh no. But that's what. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
And that's good. I mean, I'm glad you haven't had a mean outburst, right? But you give up, and it's more efficient to not give up. Because if you give up, then it's the opposite of efficient. You've just destroyed it, right? Not destroyed it, but you've just it's more efficient for the sake of what you're trying to do. It's more efficient to continue than to stop. So, yeah, and I can understand. Once you're fed up, you kind of just want to give up. But that's, if you can help your tolerance level and just say out loud, I need to be more patient with this, really helps your mind and your body just calm down and be like, let's take our time and try to get on the same page. Let's really communicate rather than, and just stop doing this weird thing that we're doing right now. Let's start over, be patient with each other, take our time, and like try to think of each other in a good, nice lens, nice view, a nice hearted, kind-hearted way, rather than being annoyed or fed up with the conversation. I think that helps. And that's the most efficient I got for you. That's what I got for this topic. We do have some time. We add up a lot of time there. And that's good. We got to talk a lot. And I don't know. I really hope that something was helpful to you. And we gave it our best. And sometimes with communication, that's all you can do, is give it your best. But yeah, sincerely, hope this gets easier for you. And I hope you can find yourself at some point maybe enjoying the puzzle that is communication. But some people really do enjoy that. That's why they debate. And even then, not very good sometimes. So, yeah, I think it's okay. But yeah, I hope that this has been helpful, or at least, if anything, relieving to some degree, or maybe even just encouraging, or anything positive. I hope you got something positive out of this. But if not, we don't know everything. We don't know how to solve all the things. Hopefully, you'll figure it out, and you'll get through.
I believe you will. I believe you'll figure it out.
I think so too.
You'll figure it out more and more over time. It'll happen.
Proven to do that in the past, so I'm sure you will prove to do that again.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
We
Great.
did it.
We
You want to
did.
do another one?
Yeah, we can do another. I think it would be a good idea.
Okay. Let's go down the list.
Yeah, we got another one here. It's called No Encouragement. Did I say that word right?
Encouragement.
It's French. Well, it might not be French. It might not be French, but it's been Frenchly influenced. They threw a U there. It's C-O-U. Courage. Courage. Should just be C-U-R-A-G-E. What's the O doing there? Oh.
I don't know.
Anyways, it's titled Encouragement. No Encouragement, rather. I'm going to take down the last topic real quick and put up the new one. Let's go ahead and transition over to this new topic. You guys are free to read along. It's not a long read, but you're more than welcome to join me in using your eyeballs and taking in my words. This is from Anan, and it reads as follows. A lot of people around me don't encourage me to be better. A lot of people around me don't encourage me to be better. Not their fault. How do I take initiative to be better and not complacent in life?
Yes.
How do I take
Good
initiative
question.
to be better and not complacent in life? And I like that this person started out with saying, people around me don't encourage me, but it's not their job to. It's not their fault that I'm not encouraged. It's not their job to make sure I'm encouraged, right? So how do I take initiative to be better and not complacent in life? I like that. That's great. I think you're already pointing yourself in the right direction by not putting the blame on others or waiting for something to happen where just suddenly you're encouraged or motivated. I think that's great. So good start there. Good start. But yeah, we really appreciate this topic, Anon, and we hope that we can do it justice in the amount of time that we have. And I'm sure Joe will provide. Pretty good at this. So, Rawr, says Joe.
Joe will provide an
Joe the
answer.
Roar. All right.
Joe the roar.
Joe the Roar. Wait a minute. If you're... Does an Australian pronounce Joe as Jor?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
A Viking does.
A Viking. Yeah. Maybe you're right. All right. Well, anyways, sidestep. Joe, All yours. Take it away.
All right. I also like the fact that you started this with saying that it's not their fault that they don't encourage me. Here's the thing you're going to find in life, at least if you're anything like me, you're going to find an exceptional lack of encouragement from the world around you.
Agreed.
In fact, you might find an overabundance of discouragement in your life. And because that's how, especially if you're planning on doing something that's not normal, that's not the normal thing of, like the normal professions that are out there, whatever, like you will come up against resistance. And so then you're not going to find encouragement on a lot of things. And
Well, if you
depending
go,
on the people you have around me, or what?
I was going to say, well, if you go against the grain, then you're going against the grain, right? Like, of course, you're not going to get encouragement if you're going against the grain. Yeah.
Yep. You might find a lot more discouragement than encouragement, right? And so this is where building your own inner strength becomes necessary. Building your own, like resilience to a lot of these things. You kind of have to learn how to encourage yourself in a lot of ways, right? And then once in a while, you get maybe an accolade or something. You get some kind of, you reach an accomplishment and you can take that in and celebrate it, whatever, right? So how do you do this? Because it's not easy to, survive where you're being discouraged all the time or where you're being put down all the time or whatever. So probably there's a few things that I would say you should do. Because you say, how do I take initiative to be better and not complacent in my life? Right. For one, just start with the understanding that it's on you. It's not on anybody else to make you better. Right. It's your responsibility. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but so like we can really easily fall into a victim trap if we're not getting encouraged and think, oh, nobody's in my corner, nobody's helping me, nobody's doing anything for me, and so so
and that's why it's so hard.
So now I can't. Yeah, that's why it's so hard, or that's why I'm not getting anywhere, or that's why it's taking me so long, or whatever, because somebody else isn't doing what they need to do to help me, right? And like I flash back to our conversation about being a healer in the earlier part of our conversation, or in the earlier part of the show, where it's like, like we want to focus on the shortcomings of another person not contributing to our lives, right? So, but here's the thing, it's not their responsibility, it's yours. You will get to make yourself better and you will get to enjoy the victory. Right? So, how do you make yourself better? Well, this is a word that everybody hates. It's a D word.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Oh, good thing. It's really hoping it wasn't donuts.
Yes. And it really takes discipline. What I've found is it's really hard to be disciplined in one area when I'm undisciplined in other areas. We almost have to take ourselves and try to be disciplined in, like kind of all around in our lives. And that finds its way into, other areas of our lives as well. And so like the discipline we have for getting up in the morning, or the discipline we have for working, or the discipline we have for staying on task, or all these things, they kind of intermingle in our lives. And so there comes a point when it's like I kind of had to learn. I learned this the hard way. I learned it a while ago, and and for the most part I'm pretty good at this, and that's do what you say you're going to do. And if you fail, which is normal, it's okay to fail at something, even if you are trying or whatever, right? You're at least putting in the effort to do the thing you said you were going to do. Even if you're failing, that's okay. It's really frustrating. I know. And it's also really frustrating when people will come to you if you've broadcast that you're going to do this thing to other people, and then you're trying and you're failing, and then they just see that you're not doing it. But you actually are. You're doing it. You're trying, right? Just because you hit roadblocks doesn't mean that, to just throw it all away, or just because you don't succeed the first time doesn't mean to just throw it all away. And just because people come up to you and jeer at you or, give you crap doesn't mean to throw it all away. But those little decisions, when you say you're going to do something, maybe you tell yourself, you maybe look in the mirror, go to the mirror, make faces at yourself like we talked about earlier, which is fun. So that's fun. And then you can talk about, okay, these are the things I'm going to do. And you can hold the line on yourself, right? I said I was going to do this thing, so doggone it, I'm going to do it. I said I was going to be there, and so the doggone it, I'm going to be there. I said I was going to, I was going to do some push-ups every morning, and so, do I do it every morning? And it really boils down to discipline. And sometimes we need a reason to be disciplined, though. And it can be a good reason or a bad reason. It can be a dream or it can be a dread. I remember when I first started exercising, it was because I looked at myself and I was having trouble getting in and out of my car. And, I was winded after going up a flight of stairs. And so then I was like, okay, I need to be in better shape. I don't want to live like this. And so I had this dread of a life like that constantly, where I was winded going up a set of stairs and having trouble getting in and out of my car. And I was like, these are normal everyday things that I want to be able to do without, working extra hard or having it like incapacitate me. So I'm going to start some kind of an exercise program. And I started small. But it was the discipline that actually made the thing happen. And it was the dread that I had that fueled the discipline. But then here is another step that a lot of people overlook, and I overlooked for a really, really, really long time, is when you're building a discipline in a new area, start small. Don't make it some big grand thing of I'm going to run 2 miles every day and I'm going to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm going to get up and I'm going to, I'm going to do some stretching. I'm talking about physical activity, right? I'm going to start small and then I'm going to celebrate those wins. I'm going to treat them as goals that I've accomplished. Right? And some of these things are really, really simple to do. They don't have to take very long. Making your bed, brushing your teeth, doing little acts of self-care. Those things are great. Anything that you can do to take care of yourself and your environment, those are great because you see those results, you feel those results, and they don't take a really long time to do. And then when you start small and you do it consistently, you almost automatically grow and start doing more and more and more because it gets more exciting. It gets to be a habit and all that kind of stuff, right? So what creates a life? I'll give you the answer. Habits. Your habits will create your lifestyle, right? The things you habitually do and think will create the lifestyle that you have. Well, what creates habits? So let's go backwards. Lifestyle. What creates a lifestyle? Habits. Okay. What creates habits? Actions. And it has to be consistent actions, like daily or regular. Maybe it doesn't have to be daily, but it has to be regular. Regular actions create habits. Well, what creates actions? The right thoughts. Right? Thoughts like, I can do this, I can achieve this, and refraining to beat yourself up. So don't do that. Don't beat yourself up, especially if you miss a day. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track. That's easier said than done in a lot of cases, especially for me. I'm a master self-beating person. Like I beat myself up all the time. It's crazy. So And what creates thoughts? Your programming, right? So who you hanging around with, what are you watching, what are you listening to, all those kinds of things create a mental state in you. Those create those thoughts, which then lead to actions, which then creates habits, which then creates a lifestyle. And so it boils down to what kind of things are being fed into your head. If no one around is encouraging you, you might have to be your own biggest cheerleader. And that's okay. But then take the step to do that. Don't forget how important it is to cheer yourself on, because you might be the only one to do it. Especially if it's something that takes a while and it takes discipline and it takes time to build. In the beginning, you might have to be your own encourager until other people around you start to notice different results. And then they might say something off the cuff that really just makes a huge difference to you. Right? So, I've really noticed, you look healthier, or, you seem to be happier, or whatever. Right. And those things can add fuel to your fire, but they come once in a while. And so regularly, you're going to have to be your own encourager. And it's going to feel weird at first. Really weird. But you can do it. And I mean, I'd be happy to send encouraging words your way. But really, it's going to make the biggest benefit for you if you learn to do it yourself. And if you have a habit like me of beating yourself up, it's going to sound weird coming from you encouraging words, right? It's going to feel really weird to hear yourself encouraging yourself, especially if you have a habit of beating yourself up. So that's, I want to just, again, your thoughts, your programming creates your thoughts. Your thoughts create your actions create your habits create your results, your lifestyle, right? That's the order. And it starts with, what are you feeding into your mind? And that's why it's important to be your own encourager. The only other thing I can say to do is be the encourager for other people. Learn to encourage other people. Be that person for them, because you know how starved you are for it. Do you think there's anybody else in the world that isn't starved for encouragement? Of course. We all are, to some degree. And so be that for somebody else. You might make the biggest difference for somebody just learning how to be an encourager. And in doing so for others, you will also get better at doing it for yourself. So those are the two things. Encourage yourself, create a good thought environment, so then you can move forward with the discipline. You're only going to achieve that discipline with the right mental environment. And then turn that encouragement outward to other people. Be an encourager for people. Be that light for people in a world of darkness. And a couple things will happen. One, you will find yourself in pursuit of things you never thought you would be in pursuit of. You will find yourself achieving things you never thought you would achieve. You'll be on track. Might feel a little bit weird. But when you're on track and when you're moving things forward, yeah, maybe you're tired. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe it's a lot of work, but you feel good in that. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about your life. And you move things forward. And you end up with some pretty good friends because people want to be around you because you say encouraging things. And the more you do that, the more you find those people might reciprocate and start encouraging you as well. But it's got to start with somebody, and that somebody can be you. And I would encourage you to do that. So encourage yourself, encourage other people, and watch yourself grow as you apply discipline. And that's about it.
Yeah, that was really good, Joe. I don't really have much to follow up with. That was really, really good. The only thing I've got
Thank you.
very little
Thank you
to
for
say.
that encouragement.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I just want to continue what you were just saying. Be the kind of, I don't know if you know the word edification, to edify. It means to speak highly of someone, to praise them and make them look good, even if they're not there. Almost especially if they're not there. If you can be the kind of person that talks and be the kind of person that only speaks highly of others, that's really hard. And I failed to do that. And I wish I was that person. And I know that it's something I could grow at. But to be the kind of person that only speaks highly of others. And now obviously there are things like in the world that are like, broken. And sorry, just soft flicker. There are things in the people in the world that are doing stupid things, and it's okay to point out evil in the world or evil actions. But when you talk about people, if you can be the kind of person that speaks highly of others.
Am I highlighted?
Oh yeah, you are. I'm sorry. I switched to you instead of me. Thank you.
I mean, people want to look at my glorious face while you talk.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Sorry about that, man. I'm glad you caught it. I would have just stayed there for the whole time. Totally. Okay, so anyways, if you can be that kind of person, that is an incredible person. That is like, encouragement will come naturally from you, and encouragement will probably come naturally to you because it is infectious to some degree, encouraging. Just like the opposite is infectious. What's the opposite of being a good edifier or a encouraging person? A gossip. And we know there's plenty of gossips.
You bet.
And we've all heard it. And it's not, I mean, at least for me, it's not an enjoyable experience. It's a very painful experience. And I'm the kind of person that will end gossip. I'm the kind of person that will stand up for people that aren't there and to be a voice of reason to some degree. Maybe I don't always do it when I should, but I do it when I think of it. I feel like things are unjust or unkind. If we can value each other and appreciate each other, wow, like that goes so much farther than gossip. And what's this have to do with you? Joe was kind of explaining it, but it's like if you can be that person, you won't need someone else to encourage.
Exactly.
Because your worldview will be so different from what it is that you won't even think about or care for if other people are encouraging you because of two reasons. One, the way your mind works will be sort of, you will naturally be encouraging yourself because the way that you think, the way that you've programmed yourself to talk and say things. Three things, I guess. Two, you will probably attract others around you who will be encouraging. It is infectious. And it's really great. And it will also, Joe was saying this, it will create a friend group for you of people who are lifting each other up. And I have a really good example of this in my own life. I remember in high school, I was with a bunch of kids. Actually, it was just like 3 of us, maybe 4 of us. And I started to, I decided I'm going to be that kind of person where I encourage people. I always point out the good in people, etc. And I just enjoy people, right? I'm going to put off that aura and act like that. Everybody in my friend groups changed. Everybody changed. Everybody, like
the people, like it changed who was there, or the people themselves changed?
Both.
Okay.
It attracted, like suddenly our friend group went from 3 to like 20. And and the people that were close, that I was interacting with normally, their personalities, or not really their personalities, but the way they spoke of others, the way that we talked to each other, that changed. Because if I'm encouraging them, if I'm speaking highly of others who aren't even there, it gets into their head and they start talking about you in a different way. And they start talking to you in a different way. And they start talking to each other in a different way. And that changes things. Can I guarantee that will happen? No. If it doesn't happen, you'll probably just end up with people who are encouragers. Because if they don't want people like that around them, then they probably won't be your friend. And you'll find other people that do want to be that way. And then the third thing is, by being that kind of person, I said before, it kind of rewrites the way you think so that you will be encouraging yourself more. But also, it'll rewrite your brain in such a way that you don't encouragement or motivation in this kind of way won't be any sort of it won't be a component anymore that's needed, because your mind will be rewritten in a way that is no longer a component of whether you do things or you don't do things. But all this stems from discipline. Goes right. And discipline is something I need to start practicing. There was a time in my life where I was way more disciplined. I found myself moving in different ways, performing better, noticing myself in my own growth, and all sorts of different things. And maybe over the last 5-10 years, I've reduced my discipline over time because I haven't been. It's like I got to a point where I didn't need it to perform well anymore. And then, you stop for a long time and you lose it. Just like anything. Like anything. It's
you don't lose it. It just kind of goes to sleep for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
You can reawaken it.
Yeah, you can reawaken it.
It's there still.
Yes. But it requires you to actively participate in it, to receive the rewards that it has to offer. So
it's not a habit anymore.
Yes, exactly. So I think discipline is a really good suggestion. Here. Go. And
it sucks though, because like none of us like what creates that discipline.
Yeah.
It sounds hard. But it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Because you start small. When you start small, it doesn't have to be hard.
And the cool thing about discipline is you can practice it in one field and obtain the reward in another. And
exactly.
Classic example is
true.
Eating. Maybe you like decide you're going to be really disciplined on, you make a full sandwich, but you only eat half now, and you wait an hour before you eat the other half. It's like, what's the point of that? That's not helpful. It doesn't make digestion better or anything. So why do that? It's about the discipline. And it's a practice of discipline because you're constantly thinking of that sandwich that you didn't eat all the way. You only had a taste of it, which actually makes you like salivate and like want it even more. And then you say, I won't eat it. I'm going to be self-disciplined here. And that practice, doing that, if that is difficult and it's trying on your mind and you're like, you have to like fight an urge inside of you, but you do it. And you continue to do it, continue to do that and fight that urge, suddenly it's like, it's no problem anymore when you wake up in the morning and you do your laundry, or so you make your bed, you do your laundry, you do your chores, you're like, it's no big deal, because doing those tasks that you have to fight yourself on, it's an easy victory now. Because it's like, I know how to fight myself. Like I know how to fight my animal instincts. What are my animal instincts? What is something that's called the lower will. You've got you got a higher will and a lower will. This is what discipline is for. It's for training the higher will so that the higher will win over the lower will. It's literally learning how to choose the higher will. Higher will versus lower will. Lower will is like your animal instincts, your basic like, I want to be comfortable. I want to be taken care of. I want to be fed. I want everything to be easy and not difficult at all. I want, it's all of these things that are just like, I wanted everything handed to you on a platter, I suppose, And it's not just that. It can be carnal. It can be bodily stuff. These animal desires, animalistic. They require no sacrifice. They don't require much from you, and they don't use a whole lot of logic and reasoning or or future thinking and so on. Higher will stuff, that's like morals. That's a higher will. Things like what I should be. Yeah, virtues. All the virtues are a higher will thing. How future thinking tends to be, now obviously we can get caught up in that, but future thinking, being able to make sacrifices for long-term gains, or even not even just your own self but other people, so that other people can thrive and you can watch it. That's not a natural animal instinct. That's something that is a higher will. And I don't mean to degrade animals. Animals are animals. They just are what they are, and it's no thing. And some animals do have some higher will to some small degree, and we can witness that.
And they're really good. They're really good next to the potatoes.
They are. They are, depending on the animal. Squirrel,
true.
Wouldn't recommend it. Not good next to the potatoes or in.
I've heard squirrel is really good. It's just a pain because
I've had squirrel soup. Man, it was the worst meal of my life. And maybe the chef was bad, but it was one of the worst meals of my entire life. And I've made some terrible foods myself, and decided I would eat them because I don't want to waste food. This was bad. Oh man, it was so chewy and just like it's the essence of gamey with this oily, chewy, like, it was bad, man. I don't know. Would never really decide to eat squirrel again. And besides, it's just a little guy. He's just a little cute little creature. Why would you? Like, nothing. You kill a squirrel. How many meals is that? I don't know, like a quarter of a meal for most people.
Right.
It's like, anyways, enough of that. Yeah, so discipline, feeding the higher will, stopping yourself from feeding the lower will, because the more you feed the lower will, the more you'll do that sort of thing. And what is that? That is the essence of complacency, right? And that's what you're asking to avoid. Complacency is when the lower will takes over. Not always, but complacency is a result of your lower will sort of taking over. So discipline is such a great response to that. It's the thing that will help drive and increase and feed and strengthen your higher will, so that these complacent thoughts, those thoughts that lead you to complacent lifestyles, won't have an effect on you anymore. And they might not even come to you anymore. But the problem is they probably will come to you throughout your whole life. They do. They come to everybody. There are demons, if you will. But you don't have to listen. You don't have to obey. Just because something sounds easier and nice and pleasant doesn't mean you need it. Doesn't mean you should pursue it. And that's why morals come into play here. That's why virtues come into play here, what the higher will is. And so to pursue the high will requires discipline. And that's what creates lifestyle. Like, in the end, it's what you surround yourself with. It's the way that you think about things. It is a gamut. And it's a really important thing. I should myself be more disciplined. I think
We all
should be.
need to be more disciplined. We all can be more disciplined.
Yeah. Not that it's.
But that's how you build a.
Not that it's bad.
That's
to
how
have
you
fun
build a
or
life
eat.
that you can be proud of. Really.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It's
You
not
know?
like the discipline is to get rid of all of animalistic desires, such that you don't eat anymore and you die. Because you're like, oh, eating. That's I guess animals do. That's not the point here. Being animalistic is not necessarily doing anything an animal would do. Animalistic is a very specific choice for humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Jeff, you're so right.
Yeah.
The book of the night.
mm-hmm.
How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People by Les Giblin. I'm telling you what, man, that was probably the most impactful book I've read.
Yeah.
You know, if I was gonna rate all the books I've read, which there are a ton, I've got a huge library and I've read most of them. And that book, How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, was probably it's one that I've read the most. I think I've probably read it 7 or 8 times. And I get something new out of it every time. And it's so impactful and so easy to read, and it's so well written. It's written in such an engaging way. You know, it's a great, great book. I would encourage everybody to read that because it's just about how we get along. It's about dancing with human nature, our own and others, right?
That's great. Yeah.
Super good book.
Very insightful. I haven't read it, but I've seen the benefits to the many people who have.
Well, you need to get disciplined and read that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
It's really good. You can trust me, or you can find out for yourself. You might be happy.
Food. Yeah. Nothing wrong with food, guys.
I hear you there, Nyansa. I'm getting hungry too.
Yeah, well,
we need to shut this thing down.
20 minutes past. Food. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this topic, Anonymous, and we hope that this has been fruitful and enjoyable, at the very least, encouraging, and gives you a direction to move in. If you want to know what kind of activities increase self-discipline, I think just go ahead and listen to this again and try to think about things that you know that you could do that would test yourself in gentle ways to begin with. And you know you can fight that fight and win, even if it's difficult. And then take it up a notch from here and there. But start slow, start low, start what you know you can win at, because that's where we need to start.
And celebrate when you do it.
Have
another tip. Another tip for that is a calendar. And you mark off the days when you do the thing, right? It's actually a great visual representation of your progress, because I've done this for all kinds of different things. I've done this for things that I wasn't going to do, and I'd mark off days I didn't do it, right? You know, like trying to get rid of a habit or get rid of some kind of activity I was doing, whatever it is. You know, I've done this method for a lot of different things, and it's super effective because you can just see, all right, yeah, I'm on track. And then I see a missed day and I'm like, oh, and I have to remember, don't beat myself up. Don't beat myself up. Okay, just start again. Just do it. Start over. And then, you know, and then you miss fewer and fewer days. So it's, that's another really good tip for developing discipline.
That's great. Yeah, that's a good tip.
Have a calendar that you mark it off on the days you do it. And you don't even have to share it with anybody. I have calendars that just have X's on all these days, and there's no description.
Yeah, I like that.
So people can ask and be like, "This is personal. Don't ask me that question."
I'm an open book. I talk about anything, but don't ask about that.
Yeah, don't ask me about my calendar with all the X's in it.
Yeah. X's. Do you kill people? Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. No.
No. But no.
Only
no,
in
but
Rivals.
we're not going to talk about it. Wow. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for this lovely show. Thank you for commenting in the chat where you have, and we are really happy that you have been here with us. We hope to see you next week. You're all beautiful and wonderful and lovely, and we are just really happy you guys are with us. So love you all, and we hope to see you again next Wednesday. Happy Thanksgiving to
Yes.
those of you who are celebrating. To those of you who are not, it's okay to celebrate, but you don't have to. I'm not celebrating, so
Yep.
I'm not gonna poke you for it.
And it's true. I am the bomber.
No, Joe's the bomb. Joe, if you say you're the bomber, people will think you actually bombed something. No, it's the phrase
Well,
is
I
you're the
said-
bomb.
I'm the bald
Joe-
guy. And
Yeah, Joe is the bald guy in the video that shows that he bombed it because Joe's the only bald guy. There's more than one bald guy, though. Think about it. In fact,
Yeah, it's true.
there's a
There are
heck
lots
of
of
a lot
bald guys out there.
there's some bald guys in episode, I don't know what that is, 12 or Your Eyes has a bald guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bald guys.
Anyways, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Hope to see you Wednesday.
Yes.
Bye now.
We love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Peace.